All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we are diving deep into a question that I am sure has cropped all of our minds at some point.
Oh,
What makes someone famous?
yeah.
Is it pure talent, dumb luck, or could it be something else entirely?
Hmm.
Well, get this. Our source material for today's deep dive
Okay.
is a list from the website thetop10s.com called Top 10 Famous Celebrities Without Talent.
Wow.
And let me tell you, the comment section is a gold mine
Yeah.
of strong
Oh,
opinions.
I bet.
Some agree, some disagree, and it gets pretty heated.
I can imagine.
This should be good.
It should be
Yeah.
really good.
Okay, so where do we even begin with something like this?
Well, right off the bat,
Okay.
what's interesting is how this list sparks a debate about what even is talent when it comes to celebrities.
Right.
Like, are we talking about singing, acting, dancing?
Yeah.
Or is there something else at play here?
Right.
Because some of the commenters, they bring up a good point.
Okay.
They suggest that the ability to build a brand.
To achieve massive success,
Uh-huh.
like we see with someone like Kim Kardashian, that maybe that should be considered a talent in and of itself.
You know, that's interesting
That
because...
takes work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
does
to get to that level of recognition.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just like, oh, she's just famous for being famous. Like, maybe there is something else there.
Well, and one commenter actually argues that the most talentless celebrities
Okay.
are the ones whose names you recognize, but you have no idea what they actually do.
Oh, interesting.
It's just name recognition
Yeah.
without any substance.
So it's like almost fame itself has become a marketable commodity.
Almost as if fame itself is the talent,
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of Ms. Kardashian,
Oh, yeah, there she is.
she's unsurprisingly at the top of this list.
Yeah. Front and center.
Front and center.
As you can imagine.
And the comments...
Those comments are
It's wild.
wild.
Oh, I bet.
It's like a mix of
Yeah.
people just like
Dragging her.
dragging her
Yeah.
through the mud.
And some coming to her defense.
And then some surprising defenses.
Okay.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of commenters are quick to point to
Yeah.
her reality TV background.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest, the infamous sex tape as proof of her lack of real talent.
Yeah. They see her as someone who is famous for
For being famous.
being famous.
Exactly. And there were a few comments I
Yeah,
saw about the
so-
plastic surgery. And
Yeah. And it's
I
like
know.
they're implying that she's manufactured this whole image
Right.
and there's no actual talent behind it.
It's all just smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there are also those commenters who push back against this narrative.
Yeah.
They highlight Kim Kardashian's business acumen,
Oh, yeah.
her fashion empire,
Uh-huh.
and her recent work in criminal justice reform.
So they're basically saying, like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Maybe we're being a little too quick to judge just because her path to fame is unconventional.
Maybe we don't like how she got there, but
Right.
she's doing something.
She's doing something.
Yeah.
Like, it makes you think, right?
Yeah, it does.
Could anyone build a brand like that?
Right.
Or does it take a particular kind of savvy and intelligence?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fascinating question.
It really is.
It is.
And it brings us to another really intriguing figure on this list,
Okay.
Paris Hilton.
Oh, yeah.
She sparked a whole debate about separating our personal feelings about a celebrity from our judgment of their talent.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
just because you might find someone annoying
Right.
or dislike their persona
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean they have no talent.
Right.
And they use examples like Justin Bieber
Yeah.
and Kanye West.
Both of
They're both controversial figures,
very much so.
but undeniably talented musicians.
So it's like that talent can exist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if you don't like them as a person.
Even in people we don't personally admire.
Right.
Yeah.
And they even brought up Kim Kardashian again,
Oh, really?
mentioning her law studies
Oh,
and
yeah.
advocacy work.
So are they saying that she actually is talented?
It seems like they're trying to challenge that notion that someone can only be talented in one specific area.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times
Yeah.
we put people in boxes.
Yes.
Like, you're the singer.
You're the actor.
You're the reality TV star.
You're the reality TV star. And then
That's it.
You can't do anything for
Right.
anybody.
And this commenter is saying, no.
She's doing it all.
She's got it going on.
So maybe we're the ones who are wrong.
Well, and it kind of highlights how,
Yeah.
our perception of someone's talent
Yeah.
can be clouded by our pre-existing opinions about them.
Yeah. If you already hate them,
Right.
you're not going to see the good.
You're going to be looking for the
Yeah,
bad.
exactly. You're looking for reasons to justify your hate.
Right.
So it's like this whole no talent debate,
Yeah.
it's pretty subjective when you say,
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
I mean, the comment section is full of people
oh yeah,
passionately defending
their face.
their favorites
Yeah.
and tearing down those they dislike.
Yeah. And some of those opinions are brutal.
Yeah. Now,
Like,
did you see
I
that?
saw Snooki being called
Yeah.
the ugliest person ever.
Wow.
And someone compared Megan Fox to a porn star just because of her on-screen persona,
You know,
which is crazy. Like, she's an actress playing a role.
it's so interesting how
Right.
people get so invested
Yeah.
in their opinions about these celebrities,
Yeah.
even if their opinions are based on such
Superficial factors.
superficial factors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not even just about appearances.
Right.
Like, some comments go even further,
Yeah.
attributing Caitlyn Jenner's transition
Oh, God.
to the Kardashian family's influence, which
Yeah, that's a stretch.
feels like a huge stretch.
Yeah.
It's like
Grasping at straws.
grasping at straws to explain things they just don't understand
Yeah, or agree with.
or agree with.
And then it gets even crazier. Like, one commenter even urged people not to vote for Donald Trump
Because,
they fear he will bring about an American nightmare.
wow.
So
Yeah, it's a lot.
it's a lot, but it shows how these conversations about fame can tap into the deeper anxiety.
Anxieties about society as a whole.
Like, it's not always just about entertainment.
Right.
Sometimes it's about our hopes and fears for society.
Exactly.
And before we go any further, I
Yeah.
do want to point out that the top tens list,
Yeah.
it's constantly being updated. They have newcomers and contenders sections,
Oh, cool.
which means this debate about talent and fame
Yeah.
is always evolving.
So it's a living document.
It is a living document.
That's pretty cool.
It's really fascinating.
So are there any, like, interesting names
Yeah, there are a few
in those sections?
like Rosie O'Donnell and Jackson Pollock.
Oh, wow.
So,
It makes you wonder
yeah,
what factors
yeah,
propel those newer figures
Right.
into that no-talent conversation.
yeah. Like, is it recent work, their public image,
Yeah.
or maybe something else entirely?
Or maybe they're just new
Yeah,
and people haven't quite decided.
yeah. Maybe it's too early to tell.
Yeah.
But it seems like some commenters believe that there are more factors at play in achieving fame
Yeah.
than just pure talent.
Like
What
that.
one mentioned, sex appeal,
Oh, yeah.
good producers,
Okay.
and even just a drive to succeed
Hmm.
as key ingredients in that fame recipe.
So are we moving away from this idea that fame is a meritocracy based solely on talent?
It seems like it.
Are there other forces at work that are reshaping this whole landscape of celebrity?
I think so.
I think so, too.
It's really interesting to think about.
It is.
Yeah,
And if that's the case,
yeah,
what does that mean for the future of fame? What qualities are going to determine
yeah.
who rises to the top in the years to come?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Yeah.
And it's one that we're going to have to keep exploring as we dove deeper into your source material.
Now, getting back to the music side of things,
Right?
there are a lot of opinions
Oh, I bet.
about Justin Bieber in the list.
Yeah,
Some commenters absolutely adore him,
I'm sure.
while others think he's the epitome of no talent.
Right. Like they cannot stand him.
It's interesting because
Yeah.
those opinions
Mm.
often seem to fall along generational lines.
I think you're right. You know, Bieber rose to fame in the YouTube era,
Yeah,
so he naturally captured a younger audience.
right,
But those who grew up listening to different styles of music
right,
might not appreciate his pop sound as much.
right. They just don't get it.
Yeah.
It's not for them.
It's not their thing.
So it's like our perception of talent is shaped by our own cultural context.
Totally.
Yeah, and the music that we were exposed to growing up.
Absolutely.
It makes sense. And then you have someone like Nicki Minaj, whose
Yeah, the-
rapping skills are
Celebrity
either celebrated as groundbreaking
or dismissed as.
or some of the comments are not very kind.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
It's a stark reminder of
Yes.
how subjective these judgments about talent can be.
Yeah,
What one person considers brilliant,
yeah.
another might find utterly distasteful.
And it goes beyond just one genre. The comments about Lil
Yeah.
Wayne are a great example.
Okay.
Some listeners criticize his voice and his lyrics, while
Yeah.
others praise his influence on hip-hop and his longevity in the industry.
So even within a
Sure.
specific genre like rap,
Right.
there's still room for a wide range of opinions about what constitutes talent.
Yeah. So it's like, what are the objective criteria for
Right.
judging talent?
Yeah.
Do those even exist?
Those are some pretty profound questions.
I know, right?
I mean,
And we might not be able to...
philosophers have been wrestling with these questions for centuries.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think
We can have some
we
fun.
might have some fun exploring them as we
Absolutely.
continue this deep dive
All right, let's do it.
into this list
Okay.
from thetop10s.com.
I'm ready.
All right?
Go.
Okay, so we've touched on how subjective talent can be, but this list,
Yeah.
it has so many more examples.
Okay, like her.
Rihanna.
Oh, Rihanna.
She's a global superstar, right?
Yeah.
But some commenters are questioning
What are they questioning?
If it's really about raw musical talent.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like some comments I saw
Mhm.
called her out as more of a studio artist,
Mm.
implying that her live performances aren't as impressive.
Oh,
So it makes you think about the role technology plays
yeah,
in creating a musical persona.
totally.
Like, is it enough to sound amazing on a recorded track,
Right.
or do people now expect the whole package?
The whole package.
Stage presence,
Yeah.
visuals, a carefully curated online personality.
Yeah.
It feels like the
Yeah.
definition of a musical talent
It's changing.
is shifting.
Right.
And Rihanna kind of embodies that shift
Yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, she's mastered the art of image making
Yeah.
and branding,
Mhm.
which are arguably talents in themselves
Absolutely.
in today's world.
Especially in today's world.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think so.
And then there's Miley Cyrus,
Oh, Miley.
whose career has taken some wild turns, let's be honest.
Yeah, she's done a complete 180.
Yeah, and one commenter seemed almost heartbroken
Oh, no.
about her transformation from Hannah Montana to, well,
Oh, yeah.
let's just say
I know exactly what you mean.
her more provocative persona.
Right.
Right. It's like,
And it highlights this fascinating aspect of fame.
yeah, what's that?
The public's desire for
Yeah.
celebrities to stay the same.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Like as if
Yeah.
we own their image and they're not allowed to evolve
Right.
as artists or even as people.
We put them in a box.
Right.
And we don't let them out.
We create these expectations
Yeah.
and then get upset when they don't fit in the boxes we've made for them. And
Yeah.
Miley's willingness to break free from those expectations,
Yeah.
to embrace her own evolution,
Uh-huh.
has both alienated some fans,
Yeah.
but also earned her a whole new audience.
Yeah. So it's a good reminder that artists, like all of us,
Right.
are constantly changing and growing,
Mhm.
and that growth isn't always going to be pretty or
Right.
palatable to everyone.
And speaking of evolving personas,
Okay.
Lady Gaga,
Oh, Lady Gaga.
another fascinating case.
Yeah.
Some see her as all shock value and
Yeah.
theatrics,
Uh-huh.
while others
Right.
praise her vocal talent and philanthropy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there a way to separate the art from the artist, or are they always intertwined?
That's the question.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can answer that.
I don't know if we can either.
But
yeah.
in Gaga's case,
Yeah.
it seems like her image and her artistry are inseparable.
Right.
I mean, her over-the-top style
Uh-huh.
is part of what makes her so unique,
Right.
but appealing to her fans.
So it's like there's no single formula
Yeah.
for success in the entertainment industry.
Right.
What works for one artist might be a disaster for another.
Exactly.
And what resonates with one audience
Right.
might totally alienate another.
Yeah, it all comes back to
It always comes back.
the subjectivity of taste
Right.
and this ever-changing nature of
Yeah.
fame itself.
Okay, so we've discussed some of the bigger names.
Yeah.
But this list is
Yeah.
full of little gems.
Oh, I love that.
Like the comments
Okay.
about Megan Fox being
Oh.
labeled a putrid actor.
Oh, no.
Despite her obvious beauty.
So are they saying she's only famous for?
It's almost like people can't believe that someone that attractive could also be talented.
Oh, interesting.
Like, it's like this weird
Yeah.
double standard.
It is a double standard.
And then there's poor Snooki, who gets
yeah.
comments about her appearance that are just cruel.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it's a reminder that reality TV, it can invite a level of scrutiny and personal judgment.
And judgment.
That's pretty unsettling.
It's like the line between entertainment
Yeah.
and real life
Uh-huh.
becomes so blurred,
It does.
and people forget that these figures on screen
Right.
are actual human beings.
With feelings.
With feelings.
Yeah, and it's not just individuals who are targeted.
Okay.
The Kardashians as a family.
Well, the Kardashians.
They get a lot of flack.
Yeah, bad.
One commenter simply stated,
What do they say?
it's because she is one of the Kardashians.
Uh-huh.
All of them are talentless.
Wow.
It's like the name itself has
Yeah.
become a shorthand
Yes.
for a certain type of fame that
Right.
some people
Just find distasteful.
find distasteful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
That's a debate that's probably going to continue as long as the Kardashians are in
Yeah.
the public eye.
in the public eye.
Which I don't see them going anywhere.
I don't either.
Anytime soon.
Nope.
And speaking of interior figures,
Okay.
even someone like Caitlyn Jenner,
Okay.
who has been in the spotlight for decades,
Yeah.
isn't immune to criticism.
Right.
Some comments were downright transphobic, attributing her transition to
Yeah.
the wrong
Yeah,
influences,
about those.
or even just commenting on her appearance
Mm.
in really hurtful ways.
It's a sad reminder that no matter how famous you are,
Right.
you're still vulnerable
Yeah.
to prejudice and ignorance.
It's true.
It's important to remember
Yeah.
that behind every name on this list,
Right.
there's a real person
A real person.
with a complex life story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And reducing someone to their fame or perceived lack of talent
Uh-huh.
can be
Yeah.
incredibly dehumanizing.
It can be incredibly dehumanizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the case of
Oh, yeah.
Donald Trump,
Yeah.
whose presence on this list
I bet.
ignites a whole other level of debate.
Yeah.
Some acknowledge his business acumen,
Okay.
but many are very critical of his personality in politics,
Okay.
calling him everything from a corrupt jerk to urging Americans not to vote for him.
It's a reminder that
Yeah.
fame can be a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, it can amplify both the
Uh-huh.
positive and negative qualities.
Yeah.
And in Trump's case,
Uh-huh.
it's brought his controversial views and personal flaws
Right.
into the spotlight.
Into the spotlight for everyone to see.
It's a fascinating example
It is.
of how fame can intersect with politics
Yeah.
and influence public opinion.
Profound way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really profound ways.
And as we've seen throughout this whole deep dive,
Yeah.
public perception can be fickle and
yeah.
unforgiving.
Speaking of fickle,
Oh, yeah.
we can't forget Kanye West,
Oh, Kanye. How could we
who
forget?
seems to attract
Yeah.
both praise and criticism in equal measure.
He does. He really does.
Some call him a musical genius,
Yeah.
while others label him an arrogant narcissist.
Right.
It's like Kanye's career
Yeah.
is marked by both brilliance
Right.
and controversy,
Yeah.
which makes him
A polarizing
a very
figure.
polarizing figure.
For sure.
Yeah.
His fans admire his creativity
Uh-huh.
and his willingness to push boundaries.
Right.
While his detractors see him as egotistical and
Yeah.
attention-seeking.
Right. And it's a testament to how fame can magnify
Yeah.
both our strengths
Yeah.
and our flaws.
Yeah.
Right.
And it kind of underscores the importance of separating the art from the artist.
Which, as we've discussed,
Which we've discussed.
is easier said than done.
Easier said than done,
Right.
but it's a conversation that needs to be had.
It does. It's
Yeah.
a complex issue with no easy answers.
Right.
And it speaks to this larger challenge of navigating fame
Yeah.
and public perception
Uh-huh.
in a world
Yeah.
where everyone has an opinion
Everyone has an
and
opinion.
a platform to share it.
Platform to share it.
Yeah,
It's very true.
it's very true.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground
We have?
with the music side of things.
Yeah.
But there are a couple entries on this list that
Oh.
touch on a different aspect of fame.
What's that?
Internet fame.
Oh, internet fame.
Jacob Sartorius, for example,
Yeah.
is being called an auto-tune hack
Oh, my gosh.
who only got famous for lip-syncing videos.
Oh, wow.
So is this a sign
Yeah.
that social media fame is viewed differently,
Differently,
when
right.
it comes to talent?
It's an interesting phenomenon.
It really is.
Platforms like TikTok and YouTube,
Yeah.
they've given rise to a new breed of stars
Yeah, they have.
who have gained massive followings through viral content
Right.
and online engagement.
Uh-huh.
But there seems to be a perception,
Yeah.
at least among some,
Okay.
that this type of fame is less legitimate
Right.
than traditional celebrity earned through
Right.
achievements in music, acting,
Right.
or other fields.
It's like there's this hierarchy of fame
Hierarchy of fame.
emerging with those who've achieved success
Yeah.
through traditional means, kind of
Yeah.
looking down upon those who have risen to prominence through social media.
I mean, it is an interesting tension.
It is,
Yeah.
and it reflects this larger cultural debate about
Yeah.
the changing landscape of fame
Right.
and the evolving definition of talent
Right.
in the digital age.
It really makes you wonder
It does.
what the future holds
Yeah.
for these internet stars.
Right. Are they going to be able to
Transition
to
over.
more traditional forms of media
Right.
and gain wider acceptance, or
Yeah.
will they remain in this separate category of
Yeah.
social media
Social
fans?
media famous.
Yeah.
That's a question.
I don't know the
And
answer.
only time will tell.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah.
And then there's Rebecca Black,
Oh, Rebecca Black.
whose song Friday
Oh, yes.
became an internet sensation.
It did.
But for all the wrong reasons. And the comments highlight the song's
Okay.
simplicity and repetitive nature.
Yeah.
With some even pointing out that Black didn't even write the song herself
Really?
and can actually sing
Oh,
much
hold on.
better than that.
Oh, wow.
So,
So it's a classic example of how
Yes, yes.
internet fame can be
yeah,
both a blessing and a curse.
a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. Her song went viral,
Right.
but the attention
Mm-hmm.
was largely negative,
It was.
and she faced a lot of ridicule.
It does raise some questions
Yeah.
about the nature of virality,
Okay.
the role of online criticism,
Yeah.
and the impact of sudden fame
Right.
on young artists.
It's definitely a cautionary tale
It is.
about the potential pitfalls of internet fame.
The internet can be a fickle
So fickle.
and unforgiving place,
Yeah.
and it's easy to become the
Yeah.
target of mockery and abuse,
especially
especially when you're young.
when you're young.
and thrust into the spotlight
Right.
without much control over your own narrative.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really makes you think about the responsibility that comes with having a massive online platform,
Right.
both for the creators and for the audience.
Oh, totally.
It's so easy to get caught up in the hype and forget that there are real people
Yeah,
on the other
mhm.
side of the screen
With the real feelings.
with real feelings.
It's a crucial point.
It is.
And it kind of speaks to a larger issue that we've touched on
Yeah.
throughout this whole deep dive.
What's that?
This dehumanizing aspect of fame,
Yeah.
whether it's
Yeah.
through harsh criticism, unrealistic expectations,
Yeah.
or just the sheer volume of attention.
Right.
It's easy to lose sight of the fact that
Right.
celebrities are human beings
Right.
with their own vulnerabilities and complexities.
It's a good reminder for all of us.
It's
Whether we're engaging with celebrities online
right,
or just observing their careers from afar,
right.
it's important to approach these conversations with empathy and a recognition of their humanity.
Well said.
Thank you.
Now, before we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I want to touch on one more interesting aspect of this list.
Okay.
The inclusion of figures from the art world.
Oh, yeah.
We mentioned Jackson Pollock earlier,
Uh-huh.
and there are a few others
Okay.
who sparked debate
Okay.
about what constitutes talent in a visual medium.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember seeing some comments about modern art being pretentious
Oh, yeah.
and questioning whether artists like Pollock actually possessed any skill.
Yeah, that's a fascinating debate.
It is.
That's been going on for decades.
I know.
Yeah, traditionalists might argue that art should be representational,
Okay.
showcasing technical skill and mastery of form.
Right.
But modern and contemporary art
Yeah.
often challenge those notions,
Right.
focusing on concepts, emotions,
Yeah.
the exploration of new materials and techniques.
So it's another example
Yeah.
of how the definition of talent is subjective
So subjective.
and can vary
Yeah,
depending on the field or medium.
absolutely.
What might be considered groundbreaking in one context
Right.
could be dismissed as meaningless in another.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And it highlights the importance of
Yeah.
understanding the historical and cultural context
right.
in which art is created.
Uh-huh.
What might seem shocking or confusing to us today
Right.
could have been revolutionary in its time.
It's a good reminder
Yeah,
to keep an open mind and try to appreciate art on its own term,
absolutely.
even if it doesn't fit our preconceived notions of what art should be.
Well, we have covered a lot of ground
We have.
in this deep dive
We really have.
into the world of fame and talent.
I feel like we've just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
But we've explored how the definition of talent is constantly evolving.
Right.
How fame can be both a blessing and a curse.
Absolutely.
And how our perceptions of celebrities
Yeah,
are shaped by a complex web of factors.
totally.
We've seen how social media has created new pathways to fame
Right.
and introduced new challenges for navigating public perception.
It's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world,
Yeah.
and we've encountered a diverse cast of character,
From reality TV
musicians to internet
to
sensation,
politicians.
to politicians,
Like everyone.
to everyone who all spark debate about what it means to be talented and successful in today's world.
So, as we conclude this fascinating journey,
Yeah.
I'm left with one final question for you, dear listener.
Okay, hit us with it.
Does this deep dive make you rethink your own definition of talent? Or in this age of social media,
Yeah.
where visibility itself can be a form of currency,
Okay.
is notoriety becoming a talent in its own right?
Wow.
It's something to ponder
It is.
as you continue to engage with this ever-evolving landscape
Yeah.
of fame and celebrity.
Wow, that's a great question to leave everyone with.
I hope so.
I
hope it gets people thinking.
think it will because,
Yeah.
like we said,
Yeah.
this list.
It's a living document.
It is a living document. It's constantly
It's
evolving.
changing.
So this conversation is never truly over.
Never truly over.
So-
So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everyone, for listening and diving deep
Yes.
into this fascinating topic with us today.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.